Welcome, comic lovers. Old Comic Guy coming at you with another comic haul. This one's massive. So, first, this is from the weekend of Phoenix Comic Con, called Phoenix Fan Fusion 2023. I did not go this year. Things came up. I wanted to get some stuff, some of the signed books that I had recently gotten. I wanted to get those to Dallas to go through the Dallas Con this the following weekend. So I financially just couldn't swing it. But I thought, okay, I'm going to save some money because I'm not going to the con. That's minimum $200 that I'm saving by not going. So I thought, well, okay. And then how much would I spend? Probably about, well, it's quite a bit of money that I would have saved. So I thought, okay, well, I can save some of that. And the comic shop Monster wasn't going this year. I guess prices of the booths have gone up at Phoenix Fan Fusion. And he just thought, he could probably just have a sale and make about the same amount of money, pretty close, and it would be save him the money. And so that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I will say that the Phoenix Fan Fusion has become less about comics and more about other aspects of this medium, from the actors and stuff that come, which I don't spend a lot of time watching TV, so that's really not my thing. I know for some it's wonderful and that's great, but the prices have gone up, and it's just not, I don't know, maybe I've gotten older. Or wait, yeah, I have. So I decided not to. He had a collection that he'd gotten over a year ago, and while he'd pulled some of the big books out and had sold those, it just ended up in a storage unit. So he wanted to get those out and do a deal. So he did. So I went in and spent some money. So let me show you what I got. This might have to be 2 videos. It is that big. I did buy quite a bit. But we'll get right into it, and I'm going to show some really cool stuff. I'm going to show some complete runs or fairly complete runs, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so first up, and you may wonder why I started here. That's okay. I'm starting with Justice Machine by Noble Comics. This is issue 1. So this is actually the first issue of Justice Machine by Noble. This was Mike Gustovich, who it's his idea, but he brought in some really cool talent. So this is actually a cover by John Byrne and Gustovich. So Byrne is the penciler and Gustovich was a inker. And interestingly enough, on this book, he brought in this guy called Loebs, William Mesner Loebs, Bill Loebs. So he's involved in this as a penciler writer inside. So the cover is Byrne, the work is not. It's got inks. It's got art by Gustovich, art by and story by Bill Loebs or William Mesner Loebs. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. At that point, I don't know whether or not he was married and all that sort of stuff. He is the one-armed artist, one-armed writer who did work with The Flash for many years. Loebs did. And others. That is not all he did. Genuinely, he did a lot all around, and is still working in comics, albeit he did have a rough patch for a while. He lost his home, and it was really a struggle. Some interesting things also on this is one of the inkers on the inside is Kevin Simbidia, I think is how it's pronounced. And you may not know who that is. He's not a comic book inker. He is. I don't know if he was at this point. Yeah, he was. He was just starting out. He is the owner, creator of Palladium, 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 which is a game company along the lines of Dungeons and Dragons. They had Palladium Fantasy. I think his big takeoff, though, was he was licensed and was doing Mechanoids. He did Turtles, licensed role-playing game stuff. And then his Rifts stuff really took off. So that's pretty cool. He was actually inking these, and this is all done out of Michigan. They were all in Michigan at the time. So again, Justice Machine. This is number 2. This one is, who is this one? This one is so Gustovich's art, and then Terry Austin is doing the inking on this. So pretty cool. These guys would later move into, so Loebs and Gustovich, and would go on into their own stuff. There is this, just lots of, they always brought in somebody special for the cover for the most part, which is kind of cool. So this one here, and inside here is a Bob Layton and Gustovich centerfold, which is cool. This one is Gustovich and Rubenstein. Rubenstein's work. So that's pretty cool. There were, I guess, 5 issues of this for Noble, and then the annual would be a tie-in with Tower Comics, who did like Dynamo and those agents. So Dynamo, No Man, and some others. Anyway, so that's where that would go. This is, so they were magazine size. That's how they looked at them. And these were colored for the most part. And then they went to a more comic size, except for it's still magazine height. This is a Rich Buckler and Gustovich. So I think Gustovich is on every one of the covers. And then, of course, it is his creation. He does end up later on taking, about here, he's taking on a more writing role. So it's pretty cool. And, of course, I like Rich Buckler. I couldn't find 5. And I don't know if I just couldn't find him in all the boxes he had out there, but I didn't find it. I wish I did. So then they did the annual for another company. I don't remember the company. And then they did, then Justice Machine number 1, picked up by Comico, I think it was, ended up having the first appearance of the Elementals, which then ended up in their own title. And of course, this ran for many stuff throughout the years. But I thought that was really, really cool. Some other cool finds. Again, this is just a huge collection. So I'm going to try to go through it fairly quickly. And maybe not as much detail in this, other than a few key points. Okay, so World's Finest. This is number 169. Classic 12 center. Awesome. Just a fun. Look, a lot of these were really just fun. This, I know it says DC Comics up here, but it's published by National Periodicals at the time. The National Publishing Company, Periodical Publishing. So it wasn't really DC like we know it. And then some Dollar Comics, World's Finest Dollar Comics. This is number 252. Pretty cool. And at this point, Jeanette Kahn is in control, and they are DC, and the DC Bullet's there. Right about the time that happened. Some nice old from the original Secret Origins. So this is issue 4. I found 4 with a Vigilante and Kid Eternity. Just awesome. Origin stories. And then number 5 with a awesome Spectre. So very cool. Also found an Adventure Comics, another Dollar comic, $4.59. pretty awesome. Just nice and fun. So DC Superstars. So this is Superstars of Space. They were different issues. This is issue 2. Wish I'd have found issue 1 there. It would probably not have been in the deal box, but you know, still would have been kind of cool. I'll have to kind of keep my eyes out. Like, I need to really look and see if I don't already have it. I do pick these up, so I probably have some, and I really need to go through and see what grades, or, you know, how clean they look. So this is number 3. This one starts Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. And then another space. So, as I understand it, the even numbers, this should be 4. Yep, the even numbers were space ones, and the odd numbers were regular superhero ones. 7. And I recently got this in something else, but I will say that these were all bagged like that, bag and board, you know, like one board, and then they were double bagged in the collection. So I wasn't real picky. I wasn't going to pull one out. I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll take them. They were priced per book, though, so I mean that would still count me for 2 books. Number 7, and then number 8, Star Rovers. That is so cool. Pretty cool. So I got those again, missing issue 1, but yeah. And then I picked up Booster Gold. Number 1. This is Jeff Jones, Jeff Katz, and then art's Dan Jurgens, right? Yeah. And Jurgens is the creator of, or one of the creators at least, I think he might be the only creator of Booster Gold. This is the second Booster Gold series. And this one ran the longest. The first one ran for about 25 issues. This one runs for about 47 ish. I found 1, 2. This one also has the tagline, the greatest hero you've never heard of. So this is when he's really taken on that time corrector role where he goes around and corrects time. Number 3. Number 4. And for the most part, so that's his descendant. Is that the right word? His ancestry. And yeah, it's backwards. So that's his ancestor. That's what that is. His ancestor. And I believe, let's see, another one of his ancestors first appears in the first one. But that's one that is, so I have through 4, and then I'm missing, and I have 7. That was a Supernova. That's the guy's name. I knew I could remember it. Number 8. Again with Blue Beetle, so that's kind of cool. Number 9. There we go. Number 9. The old Justice League. Number 10. So Supernova there is Daniel Carter. So his great-grandfather or something like that. And that would be his great-great-grandfather. And then Rose Levine makes her first appearance in this series, and she stays through a good chunk of the series. Number 11. Again, I mentioned this is like the complete series. I missed a few between 4 and 7, and then we're just going through the list. Trying to get these so the glare does not show. Maybe if I go, then you 13, some Starro fun, or not, more Starro, 14. He is all around, jumping through time and stuff throughout this. Is it at that one? By 15, it's Jurgens doing the writing and the art. So, pretty cool. 16 with some enemy ace. How cool is that? Classic. Haven't seen him in a while. Origins and Omens sort of event, and this is number 17. And Gold Star, his sister, that's Michelle Carter, that's his sister. 18. $19. 20. 21. 22, and this has a Blue Beetle backup feature. It's the Jaime Reyes backup feature, or Blue Beetle, which is cool. A nice picture cover for 23. Still having the backup feature of Blue Beetle. Definitely going back to the way comics used to be, right? With that backup feature. I like that. I genuinely think, why don't we do that more? One, it would save our writers and artists from having to create whole long books every month, and it would probably make things come out a little bit better as far as time. And you could try out new artists and stuff on the second feature, backup feature. Blackest Night tie-in. And then 27. Still part of the Blackest Night tie-in. All right. 28. 29. Again, almost the complete series, which is really cool. It's always nice to get almost the complete one. But that was 29, and a bunch of the early 30s I couldn't find. Either somebody needed those and got them before me. I was not first there. 37. And Giffen's doing the Giffen, and J.M. DeMathis is doing the writing at this point. I don't know when that... Yeah, so it was still Jurgens in the 29, and then Giffen by 37. So I don't know when that happened. Giffen likes to have fun, and of course he was having fun with Booster and Blue Beetle in the Justice League back in the day. So he's definitely having some fun. 38, 39, and can be serious also. And then we have just a really cool cover, and this one's really clean. Issue 40. Sometimes it's just nice to get one of these. And that white is so tough to keep clean. 41. 42. Uh, 43. And then this is where Giffen's off again. He's off of it. And Jurgens is back for the final Flashpoint story arc that was coming through this. So this is 44, and it is a Flashpoint world. And then I'm missing a few there. And then partially, like I said, they were double bagged. And then I found 47, which is the final issue of this series. Pretty cool. He ends up back, maybe. Yeah, so that was very cool. All right, let's keep going. There is a lot. An All-Star Comics number 65. So pretty cool. I love these. This is not the first appearance of Power Girl, but this is the series where Power Girl is introduced. She's not a Golden Age character. I know we think she is. She's always put with the Golden Age characters, but she's not a Golden Age character, a traditional Golden Age character. She came about in this series, but after its revival. So All-Star Comics closed down late 40s, early 50s. It was stopped publishing because the comic market changed, and it stopped being about superheroes and started being about westerns and true crime and horror and detective and all of those other things. Science fiction kind of took off too. And the Comic Code Authority came in that really kind of hampered the superhero market. And then when it came back is when Power Girl gets introduced. Famously, Wally Wood is involved in that. And then, so then I found Freedom Fighters. So let's, Freedom Fighters are quality characters that DC had purchased. That's a nice way of saying they now corporate, what do they call it, buyout or something like that. Anyway, they owned quality and basically just made them defunct, and now they were going to use the characters. This had actually made an appearance, Len Wein. People don't give him enough credit by any means. He was involved in so much, and often without credit. If even things like the new X-Men, the that's weird to call them the new X-Men, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, all of those, he had a hand in that. Like, he was involved in putting them together with Dave Cochran and stuff. And does he get credit for that? Sometimes. A lot of people just kind of blow over it. They talk about the Claremont Byrne run, or Cochran and Claremont, or whichever. The point is that he was involved in actually putting that together, and he's often forgotten for that. He'd done a crossover with Jerry Conway, Steve Englehart, and stuff, crossing over using the Rutland parade. If you don't know, there's a big parade in Rutland, Vermont, in around Halloween time. Still going on, to my knowledge, to this day. I don't know how COVID affected it. I don't live up there. But started in the 60s, and it's a superhero parade. So if you get a chance, my understanding is it's supposed to be pretty awesome. It is one of my goals to get there, to be there for that. I think it would be so awesome. So Len Wein was involved with Jerry Conway, Steve Englehart, and it actually crossed over in Justice League, Amazing Adventures, and Thor. I don't remember who was doing what, but it crosses over Felix Faust, Loki. Who's the other one? The other villain. Dang it, Juggernaut. Juggernaut. Amazing Adventures, it's Juggernaut. Thor, it's Loki. And then, of course, Justice League, it's Felix Faust. And that's one of the first unofficial comic book crossovers between Marvel and DC, at least. And you're going to find another one that happens in this. So, anyway, he was involved with bringing them back in the Justice League. And then, of course, they got their own series. Let's see if I can... so this is Uncle Sam, Black Condor, Phantom Lady, the Ray, and the Human Bomb, and Doll Man, which is pretty cool. So issue 1, issue 2, Silver Ghost. They actually kill him. He portrays off as dying, so everybody's after the freedom fighters. But really, he isn't dead. He's behind all of their troubles for quite a long time. Issue 3, you can tell this one came out in '76. Look at the salutes the bicentennial, which is pretty cool. Issue 4 with Wonder Woman. And was he on all of them? I think on most of them it's Ernie Cohen covers. Maybe not all of them, but yeah. And then another Wonder Woman appearance. Pretty cool. And then we have 6. 7. Okay, so at the same time this was going on, Invaders, which was done by, most of these are done by Steve Englehart. Invaders was being done by Roy Thomas over at Marvel. And here we have issue 8. Let's see if they all show. Oh, wait, who is that? That's the Americommando. No relation to Mr. America's Americommando, that was a DC national type character. This is a crossover between the Invaders and Freedom Fighters. I didn't know. I bet you didn't know. Unofficially. So this is, let's see, who are they supposed to be? So obviously that's supposed to be Captain America. It's Americommando. The other one, I don't know if you can see them. Where are they? Okay, so there's Barracuda. That's Namor. And then there's Fireball is the other character. And Fireball is Human Torch. Sparky is Toro. And then there's a character called Rusty, who is Bucky, right? And it makes an appearance here. And then let me do the other one. This is the next issue. This is issue 9. And in this issue, they get defeated, and you find out that they were just comic fans at a Comic Con. And this guy offered to give them powers. The Americommando, who is actually really the Silver Ghost, they don't know that. And he gives powers to the other 4, so Barracuda, Fireball, Rusty, and Spark. And they are actually comic fan goers named, let's see, Marv, Lenny, Arch, and Roy, who is in reference to Marvin Wolfman, Len Wein, Archibald Goodwin, and Roy Thomas, which is really cool. I mentioned the parade before. When they're in these issues where they cross over like that, usually the characters are themselves. So Roy and his first wife Jean make an appearance in there. I believe Marv and Len Wynn and Marvin Wolfman, Len Wynn, Archie, Steve Englehart, Jerry Conway, they all make appearances there. And what's cool is at the same time this is going on, I don't remember the issue numbers in Invaders, but it's the first where they bring in the Crusaders. We'll see if I was lucky enough to get those. I did pick up some Invaders, so we'll find out. And we'll see if I can remember and go through who all they are in just a moment. So, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what's kind of cool, oh, and Firebrand's been brought in, the original Firebrand, so that's cool. 13, 14, and the original Batwoman and Batgirl, that's kind of cool. 15, the last issue. So I got a complete run of the Freedom Fighters, which is pretty awesome. I mentioned the Invaders, so let me go through them real quick. I did get some Invaders. They did not have, or I completely missed, but Giant Size Invaders #1. This is the precursor to the Kickoff. These are Roy Thomas. Robbins and Romita Sr. do the cover. I don't have the beginning, but I have issue 4. Issue 5. How awesome is that? Just so cool. I'm missing some, and then I have issue 8. So I'm missing what is that, 5, 6, 7? Here's issue 8. I actually ended up with 2 issue 8s. I was just grabbing like crazy every Invaders that I saw, so that's cool. And then 9, 10, 'So Invaders is what Roy did for Marvel. Well, that's an understatement. One of the series that Roy did for Marvel, Roy Thomas did for Marvel Comics, where he revived the Golden Age characters. So it's the series where he got to do that. He was a Golden Age fan. 16. Probably still is, to be honest. 17. He would later go on to do the same thing for DC. I think the DC one ran longer, to be honest. 22. 24. Just so cool. 26. Again, this one's missing more. Like, there was a lot that I couldn't find. 27. It is older than, so this is from the 70s, so it's older than the All-Star Squadron, so they are a little bit harder to find. 29. Spitfires join them. 30. 35. Oh, it looks like I don't have that crossover piece. Darn it. That's okay. And 38. So, the crossover issue had the Spirit of 76, Captain Wings, Tommy Lightning, Ghost Girl, Thunderfist, and Dynamite. So Spirit of 76 is supposed to be Uncle Sam. Captain Wings is supposed to be Condor. Tommy Lightning is the Ray. Ghost Girl is Phantom Girl. Thunder Fist is the Human Bomb, and then Dynamite is Dollman. So it was supposed to be kind of an unofficial crossover over 2 issues that they did, and it's pretty cool. I think it was issue, what issue was it? Issue like 14, 15, 13, 14, right around that place. But pretty cool. There's still a bunch more. Genuinely, this ended up being almost 2 short boxes. So we're going to do the next one in another video. Yeah, and that way it's not too much to watch. So that one will be coming up real shortly. So you guys, if you like the channel, please subscribe, please share, and let's see, subscribe, like, share, you know, the normal stuff. You guys know what you're doing. I'm the old guy figuring this whole thing out. So, all right, you guys take care of yourselves. Have a good day.